Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Nurse Mark in the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA.
Where we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing so you can start your day off the AFA way. And in case you have
Yeah,
forgotten about it, we don't just talk about it Monday through Friday. We talk about it throughout the weekend because you know what? Mark wrote a book
yeah, I
all
did.
about, Mark, I mean, this book is
You're
absolutely,
AFA. Even when you're not, you're absolutely fucking amazing. Even when you think you're not,
I know. And you
you
think
are
I did it.
totally, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
welcome to Monday, May 24th, 2021.
It's May 24th already.
May 24th already. Winding down, getting ready to go to Memorial Day, huh?
Wow.
That's
Wow.
really
Wow.
that's really that's the sign that summer is here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. So here we are.
Here we are. Here we are
How you feeling
rising.
today?
You know what? I am feeling this is a really good show for us because I'm feeling pretty spiritual. I did a
Awesome.
lot of work this weekend. I was outside. I'm not going to lie, it was really a heavy duty weekend of nourishing the endocannabinoid system.
Mhm.
Some things that I haven't done in a really long time. So it was really great. It was very euphoric because, as you know, when you are doing activities that pair with cannabis, it can take you to
Yeah.
the next level. So we did some yoga, breath work,
Mhm.
meditation, moon bathing,
Oh, so
sunbathing.
good.
We howled at the moon. It was so beautiful on the water, meditating on the water,
Mhm.
floating. And I did something brand new, which is a really, really beautiful expression of who you are. So doing this dance, it's called journey dancing, where you have someone kind of go through a little story of areas of your life and you dance it out. Like, oh, I have the chills. So you just bring in these emotions
Yeah.
and you just move your body as you just kind of let the energy and spirit come through. And it was really, really beautiful. And to do it with other women, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
just having this sacred space of
Yeah.
coming together and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and
Mhm.
holding that space for us all to really express stuff that
Yeah.
sometimes we don't express. And then to have someone witness it
Mhm.
and make it okay for you to truly, like, whether it be crying or moving or chanting or whatever it is. It was really, really magical,
Whatever it is. Listen,
whatever it is.
yeah, you read that book, The Body Holds a Score, right?
Oh, the body keeps score for sure. And it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, like you literally hold your memories. It's not just in here, right? It's dispersed throughout your whole body. Your cells
Yeah.
all hold that memory of past. And so it makes perfect sense that this journey dancing, you're just you're just moving it out. You're moving it out. That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, and then, to take it to the next level, then singing. Okay. So singing at the top of our lungs, finding songs that have so much meaning, and then bringing them in. And then even each of us teaching words to our favorite song,
Yeah.
walking in nature in pure silence, not opening our mouth for like a full,
Yeah.
mile walk. So just things that are just really different that bring you back into your body and make you appreciate all that you have.
Right.
It's really, and then to be in the space where, you're sharing your love, your light, your information, your stories, the storytelling.
Yeah.
Really beautiful. So thank
Amazing.
you. Listen, I just want to say thank you for giving me your wife for the weekend.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
glad that you all had a transformative moment.
Yeah. Yes.
That's an amazing, it's an amazing weekend.
Well, can I tell you, after all, you
Yeah,
are the worshiper of goddesses.
that I am. There are so many.
So we want to make sure that we're in tip-top shape, right?
Yeah, you're all absolutely amazing no matter where you are and what you're doing. That's the bottom line. Good morning, Laura. Hey, Jim, thanks for reading the book. Jack, good morning.
Good morning,
Welcome, everybody.
everyone.
So let's rip into a little bit of daily love because it's a good one. And
I love
it's,
the love.
these are these are the ones that there's like two recurring themes in the daily love, which, by the way, the text delivery ends this week. It's actually going to be moving on to, you can consume it at SoundCloud because that's where it
There you
ends up
go.
going. So actually, if you want to get in on the daily love and you want to experience that, you can. I'm just looking through. I'm going to post it
Yeah.
up here.
Well, the thing is I can do too is, yes, posting the link to SoundCloud, I
Where
can
is
make sure we do an automatic post every day.
Yeah.
Can pre-schedule it so y'all get, you can get that's be great, the daily love right before our show so you all can listen to it and participate in the
It's
conversation.
good. You
How
can
cool is that?
participate in the conversation. Yeah. Here, I'll give it to you. I have the here it is. One
Good
second. I'm just
morning.
gonna post it up in there. Here's where it goes. Here's where it goes. This is where it lives now.
That's it, the daily love. So important. I mean,
Yeah.
just to hear your
So
voice, Nurse Mark.
that's where you will find it.
Mm.
And so
And you
going
do,
forward,
you have that beautiful, masculine, flowing,
yeah, it's
gentle
definitely not
authority.
a soprano voice.
It's
Yeah,
not. It's so
no.
cool. I'm like, ooh, there's Nurse
Yeah,
Mark's voice.
it's not a soprano voice. So the Daily Love Morning, Deborah. What's up, Beth? Hey, Brian. So listen, here's the Daily Love. You ready? We're gonna
I'm
just
ready.
do it. And this is a good one because again, there are recurring themes in the Daily Love. Been doing it over a year now. And so the first recurring theme is what you think is what you get. Manifestation, right? Thinking,
Mhm.
thoughts, being in action, being in language, and being created. That's one of them. The second one is this one, and it's forgiveness. So this is
There you
entitled
go.
Forgive. Okay.
Mhm.
Ready? Here we go.
I'm
Forgiveness
ready.
flows freely from me. Forgiveness becomes natural when I commit to its practice. In the past, I may have struggled to forgive, especially if I was caught up in thoughts about who was right and who was wrong, or how something or someone should have been. I practice forgiveness to free myself from the burden of blame. I move through my life more lightly because I regularly release the heavy weight of resentment. I want to
Mm.
experience the best parts of life: joy, love, peace, and forgiveness helps me to do that.
Oh,
Like rising above thick gray clouds to find the blue sky, forgiveness helps me take a higher view of circumstances and gives me clarity. Even if I feel sad or angry, a willingness to forgive helps me overcome those feelings and return to the peace of God. Ah, ah,
and I think, okay, what I really loved, right? And it's
mhm,
just, it goes along the lines of hope, inspiration, growth, and healing. Forgiveness is freeing. It takes me higher.
yeah,
Right? It's beautiful, beautiful. Takes me higher. Higher where? Into realms of consciousness, to
yep,
places that we generally don't visit very often. Right. So here's the thing that's so cool is,
mhm,
what I love too is, like, if I'm having a moment or an incident when I'm having angry and I'm having a hard time forgiving,
yeah,
what it is to over time, what happens is that I that comes up in my mind, and
mhm.
it's like I feel guilty for not forgiving.
Well,
so then,
you
so then I got to forgive
Sherry,
myself for
here's the
not
thing.
forgiving.
It's not easy to forgive, right? Because we're just judging machines. We just automatically judge things and people are part of that, right? We judge them. And here's where we get caught up the most. We get caught up in this thought that if we forgive, we're condoning what happened. And that is not the case. We're not condoning what the circumstances were of whatever it was that happened.
Yes.
We're just forgiving and letting it go. So
Yes.
that's the trick. That's the thing that we need to get into this space of I'm not condoning what happened, but I'm letting go of what happened. Forgiveness
Yes.
is the key.
Well, here's another cool example. So I remember this was with my mother, and I even used it with my kids. So
Yep.
even if my mother, was upset with something that I did, she goes, "I will always love you. I may not like what you do, right?
Right.
But I will always love you." And she does forgive. My grandmother was the most forgiving.
Mhm.
And so just passing that down the line
Yeah.
of, well, here it is, it's from the Catholic religion, but then what we do is we adapt it, right? So I'm adapting the whole forgiveness thing in a spiritual sense, having my children explore multiple religions so they can choose what feels right for them.
Right.
Right, and the forgiveness thing is
Yeah.
really, really powerful. It
It's,
does
you know,
take you higher.
forgiveness is it's we're gonna talk about this, spirituality, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
forgiveness is at the root of all spirituality. It doesn't matter
Mhm.
the context of the the religious tradition, whatever that religious tradition is,
Yeah.
at the root is forgiveness. Every
There
one
you
of them.
go.
Letting go of that resentment, because when you carry around a resentment, the only one that is feeling the burden is you. That
There
other
you go.
person, whoever it is that you have this resentment against, is not affected in any way. It's just you that carries that burden. So, hey, today, Monday, May 24th, 2021, pick somebody. Just forgive them. Again, not condoning what happened,
No,
but
no.
just forgiving, and it's going to let you go free.
Yes, yes. So we can lead right into forgiveness to the National Council State Boards of Nursing.
And here we go, wrapping cannabis into it. Yes, Sherry.
I forgive the nursing profession. I forgive the medical profession.
Yes.
I forgive them that they completely put cannabis and cannabinoid therapeutics and the endocannabinoid system in the closet, because now we're in revolutionary times and we are so excited to be able
Yes.
to celebrate plant medicine. So motivational Monday, right?
Mhm.
What motivates us as cannabis nurses? Well, we never learned about cannabis in school. I never learned about it. Mark never learned about it. And Mark's taking, Mark was he became a new nurse recently. This is back
Yeah.
1988. I never learned, and even now they weren't teaching it in what, 2016, 17,
Yeah. Nothing.
right?
Nope. Graduated
So
with my bachelor's in 2018, my associates in 2014. There was nothing in the curriculum about cannabis other than possibly when they talked about drug abuse and drugs of abuse, it may
right,
have been mentioned there in a very
right.
negative connotation. But,
So we
nothing in
got
the
excited.
curriculum about cannabis as a medicine, and that's, it's kind of way
Kind of
past time.
it's like, take your time, but hurry up already, right? So
Yeah.
so in 2018, 19, 20, 21, so 3 years ago, how
Mm.
excited did we get, Mark? Where the
Oh,
National Council State Boards of Nursing put out guidelines in the
right.
Journal of Nursing Regulations for medical cannabis.
Mhm.
They identified 6 essential areas of knowledge about cannabis for all nurses, nursing students, and advanced practice nurses. So Mark and I have been, kind of going through these different areas. There's 6 areas. We've read them. I'm going to put a post up later. We got a nice little graphic all about it. But today, we're tapping into that whole spirituality and that whole forgiveness thing. So here's the quote,
Yeah,
which I love. The
yeah.
nurse shall approach the patient without judgment regarding a patient's choice of treatment or preferences in managing pain and other distressing symptoms.
Oh my gosh, without judgment. Now see, that's not the norm, right?
It's not the norm.
Because we're judging, because human beings are just judging by nature.
Yeah.
Nurses are human beings, by the way, just wanna get
Yeah.
that out there. So
And the people you take care of are human beings
yes,
too.
right, they're human beings too, so they're judging, we're all judging, and so we get into this space of, "Well, I know what's best for this patient.
Yes.
They should
Yes.
definitely be doing this." I can remember I'm lying on a gurney in Mass General Hospital. I'm in there because I have cellulitis of the foot and I have the and it's a bad infection. And so I'm lying there in the ER, and there is this new resident physician, female, who wants in the worst way to cut into my toe. She wants to do this debridement, right? She just wants to do it in the worst way. Oh my gosh, she's like forcing it, forcing it, forcing it. And I had to tell them, this was like went on for a half an hour. I had to tell them at the end of the half an hour, nobody is cutting into my foot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to get forceful, right? If I
Yeah.
wasn't forceful, they were
Well,
judging that they thought that this was the best thing for me.
right. I could, isn't that,
No
Mark?
way.
I can even parallel that to giving birth. Okay. Having
Yeah.
a hard time getting my daughter out. They come
Yeah.
in with forceps. Okay. They had the plunger,
Mhm.
wasn't working. They come in with forceps. We'll get her out. And I'm like, absolutely not. You're not
Oh,
sticking
yeah.
that fork in me to pull my daughter
Right?
out.
I dated a girl who was permanently scarred on her cheeks from forceps when they pulled her out during birth.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's just interesting. Really, really pay attention to your body, right?
Yeah.
Your body keeps score. It'll tell you what to do, So it's
Right.
cool, Mark. What did you do?
Right.
You paid attention to intuition and
Right.
cognition and it didn't feel right. And you're like, stop,
So
stop.
wrapping it back into cannabis here.
Yeah.
The
Right.
reason I believe that the NCSBN put this particular number 6 in there is
Hmm.
that they recognize that there's so much stigma surrounding cannabis as a
Yeah.
medicine that they had to state, this is something you as a nurse need to pay attention to. Don't judge the patient.
No.
It's their
No. And
choice.
so we're going to tap into a little bit. I know it's kind of, nursey, but nursing theory a little bit. Mark and I
Oh,
presented. It's
we have
just a
to.
tiny bit, but because it's good, it matches, it fits.
Sure
This is
does.
probably the only nursing theory that I like because it does tap into those spiritual principles. So
Mhm.
Mark and I presented on this very topic last year at the ACNA conference, and our topic was spirituality is the root of cannabis care, right?
Mhm.
The essence of nursing is human caring. So,
Right.
what we're doing as nurses, when we're introducing cannabinoid therapeutics in this plant to patients, we're bringing the spirit of plant medicine to our patients and educating them on all the various ways that it can help decrease suffering and improve quality of life. So that's why we say every morning, come get high with us. It's okay to feel good. It's okay to feel hope. It's okay to feel inspired.
It
It's okay
is.
to grow. It's okay to heal. And
Yes.
everyone's journey on how they get there is different. And so, because we're not used to, like in the traditional system, it's body parts, it's symptoms, it's
Right.
disease ICD 9 codes. If we're lucky, we get to mental emotional care, and rarely do we ever get to touching a patient's spirit.
Mm.
I know, rarely. I said, rarely do we ever get to
Rarely.
mention it.
So rare.
But I had to like just give them a little tiny sliver of credit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
In that 30 seconds that you get.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, Cher, here
Mark?
we are. The nurse shall approach the patient without judgment regarding their preferred treatment. And so, what is that all about?
Well, here it is. Like we said, a judgment. We need to make a decision, right?
Yep.
It's an opinion. And so as we said before, the mind is a judging machine, either good, bad, or neutral.
Mhm.
And when we think about where judgment stems from, it stems from ego. It does not stem from
Yes.
spirit.
Right.
And we say over and over, there is no room for ego or judgment when caring for patients. And so I all want to invite you, and just not even with patients, but even with all people, let us
Mhm.
consider spirituality is the root of cannabis care, whether we're using it for ourselves or educating our patients and parents. I was going to say
Right.
parents, how we might serve all people better when we connect with their spirit first.
Listen, the ACNA scope and standards mentions human caring right in the document.
Yeah.
The essence of nursing is human caring. So, cannabis nursing is both a learned skill and a practiced art. The cannabis nurse builds upon expertise from previous experiences with healing and nursing while enacting reflective practices to support growth toward expertise. So, human caring, the guiding moral idea of nursing, human attempt to connect with others in order to protect, enhance, and preserve human dignity and humanity with integrity as one supports a person toward finding meaning in illness, suffering, pain, and existence.
Yeah.
Right? That's from the
Yeah.
ANA and from Watson.
Yep. Jean Watson,
Yeah.
really interesting.
Watson.
She's already,
Other important scope issues in regards to scope, just to remind clinicians, listen, do not give medical advice. Seriously. It's not part of the scope of practice, right?
you know,
Cover your ass. And remember, according to the FDA,
oh,
the almighty FDA, only the FDA approved medications can make claims to cure, treat, or prevent a disease, even if what you're working with does those things.
right, right. So here,
Okay?
here it goes. We're
You know they do those things. You
yeah,
just can't say that they do those
yeah,
things.
exactly. So it kind of
Right.
gets you off the hook and gets
Mhm.
us back to human caring, right?
Yeah.
Human caring theory. So,
Yeah.
when I first started looking at Watson's theory, I was like, ooh, ouch, it's so abstract. But really digging into it,
Yep.
silencing the mind, meditating before I actually read it.
Mhm.
It makes sense, right? So Dr. Carrie Clark introduced Watson's human caring theory as she wrote about it in the nursing program in Maine. And she
Mhm.
covers in one of her chapters, Clark's Cannabis, a Handbook for Nurses. She
Yeah.
covers this theory.
Mhm.
And this theory is actually about how we, as even the green nurses, work with both the patients and clinicians we educate on
Mhm.
plant medicines and all of these other progressive tools. The
Yes.
theory, connecting with not only the patient, but the providers. Because
Mhm.
I was, being a provider, 25 years nursing experience and not knowing the endocannabinoid system, I was a little embarrassed. So here it is like when people find out, it's almost like, whoa. So it's just treating them with kindness because I was there at one point in time, and cannabis had been legal medically since 2012, and I didn't start tapping into it until the end of 2014.
Mhm.
So anyway, so it's really bringing human caring to patients and providers. So Mark, who
Yes.
is Gene Watson?
Oh, Sherry, Gene Watson is a marvelous human being, and I was in the same space with you when it came to looking at nursing theory and learning about nursing theory. That was a hard course during nursing school for me to swallow because
Yeah,
it is very abstract. But luckily, I'd done several classes in philosophy, so that's a
there you
little
go.
bit,
You got
abstract
it. You got a
well,
head
so it's like,
start.
okay, this feels eerily familiar. So Gene Watson is an American nurse theorist and nursing professor who is best known for her theory of human caring. So Watson's human caring theory is based on a humanistic psychological approach, calls for the person to look deeply within, with the knowledge that self-awareness is a prerequisite for self-growth. And there's Eastern philosophy in there as well, spiritual principles looking at the whole instead of the parts and focuses on similarities. And then you have the transpersonal psychology. It's spiritual psychology, whole person psychology, connecting with spirit and transcending the self or ego.
Yeah. Yeah. Really powerful stuff. I love it. Combining three different things. And here we go. The Eastern philosophy really connected with me because it reminds me of the
Mhm,
cannabis plant. The
mhm.
whole of the plant is greater than its individual parts. So
Right.
these spiritual principles look at the whole person instead of the parts and connects them all together. It brings
Mhm.
me back to my umbrella.
Yeah.
Right. So in the Cannabis Health Index, we were looking at various sources.
Mhm.
There isn't just one person that's come up with this. So even one of the Cannabis Health Index, Dr. Hugh Bleshing also talks about transpersonal psychology as both an art and a science of mind body medicine.
Yeah.
So he focuses on, very similar to Gene Watson, self responsibility for problem discovery, right? Self awareness,
Mhm.
self guided treatment. So people
Yeah.
exploring different modalities, all of these progressive tools that support
Mhm.
the endocannabinoid system. Mindfulness, meditation, prayer, and
Yep.
spiritual practices help us
Uh-huh.
to connect to our bodies and our minds and our emotions.
Mhm.
And then the self actualization comes, the connection to deeper parts of ourselves for
Yes.
consciousness and healing. We talked about that. Cannabis opens up areas of your brain that allows you to perceive and process information from a different perspective,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
self-actualization.
Mhm.
Watson's theory of human caring, the transpersonal nursing. So Watson describes a transpersonal nurse as one who has the ability to center consciousness and intentionality on caring, healing, and wholeness rather than on, traditionally what in Western medicine is a focus on disease, illness, and pathology, still very much so. So transpersonal caring focuses on helping patients achieve a more complete sense of harmony within the mind, body, and spirit through the use of caring transactions.
That's great. I love it. So basically, Mark and I, at the beginning of the year, Dr. Carrie Clark's book came out, Clark's
Mhm.
Cannabis, a Handbook for Nurses, which released in January. And we actually had her on one of our Wednesday night
Yeah,
podcasts to promote her book
always a joy.
because it was great because many of us cannabis clinicians actually contributed as contributing authors. And we were able to share our experiences, which is great. I wrote a little chapter 9. I contributed. It was great. It was the cannabis nurse experience and what we're actually seeing in the communities when patients come to us. So Dr. Clark, in her book, she aligns one of her chapters with Watson's 10 coritis processes that come from Dr. Jean Watson, as she pairs this philosophy with the art of cannabis care nursing. So just a quick little, we're going to wrap it up because we're going to cover some of these in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
But Mark, what are these coritis processes?
Well, she developed these processes to remind us to remember that our focus is on human caring, not curing, but caring. And so there are 10 of them. And next week we'll review them and we'll provide examples as to how they are applicable and how to apply them in patient care by giving you
Case
examples.
studies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Case, like literally, like the amount of patients that we've cared for, we can plug in
Yeah.
different patients that we've worked with to all
Mhm.
of these different things and how we were able to guide them, through making decisions and that self-empowerment, holding
And
their hand.
we take them
Yeah.
from the abstract into the real world
Right.
by
Right.
giving you those
Yeah.
examples. And that, for me, that's always the way that I learn best is in seeing the examples, right?
Yeah, me too.
How it's applied. We could talk
Exactly.
about it all day long and it's great.
Right.
You could understand it in the abstract, but man, when you can apply it, it just makes sense like that.
Yep. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
manifesting magnificent Monday, right? Beautiful Monday. Today's
Yeah.
a day for freedom to choose, forgiveness, freedom to choose what you think. We have what you think is what you get, forgiveness,
That's
commit,
right.
right? Commit to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And just even think about, what I, like to do, especially when I read these different things in the morning is, think about how can I go to not just, through
Mhm.
cannabis to a higher level of consciousness so
Mhm.
I can be my best self, right? And show up
Yes.
for other people in the world.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do
And
we got going on this week, Nurse Mark?
we got so many things. We have so many things going on, Sherry. Which every morning at 8 a.m. we
Yeah.
have this, which by the way, you can actually you can consume this particular content, which we do 5 days a week, 8 a.m. to 8:30 or so. You can get it on Facebook because we're live streaming, YouTube channel because we're live streaming. You can also get it, however, as a podcast. So if you're,
Cool.
if you're driving back and forth, we're getting back into this sort of work thing where you may be driving to an office, listen on a podcast. You can go
There
right
you
there
go.
at that link right there, and you can get that podcast. You can get it on Spotify. You can get it on Apple Podcasts. You can get it on Google Podcasts. But you can listen to this every morning as a podcast. So we're making it easy for you.
Yes.
We're
So
making
the
it
day,
easy. However you consume your content, Nurse Mark and the
exactly.
Green Nurse are going to be there.
I love it. I totally love it, Mark. So
Yeah.
that's a really good reminder. You can listen to us every day, even in your
Hell
car.
yeah, and who wouldn't want to? We're absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.
Any day, every time, anytime. That's great. What's cool is if you're in a podcast, you can just, click in whenever, which is
Click
awesome.
in whenever. And
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
If
So
you're in a different time zone, because we got people who pop in from across the pond, and
yeah, New Zealand,
the
the
time
UK.
difference is a little bit much
Yeah.
for them to join us live.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yep.
podcast, baby. You can get it there. You
Podcast.
can get it on the live stream. So there you go.
That's great. So
Yeah.
some of the other things we have going on is tonight
Yep.
we have our Healy webinar informational. So we're
Love
going to
that.
talk, the Healy is really, really cool. So it's all about bioenergetic
Yes.
homeostasis, looking at our information fields and bringing in quantum vibration frequency
Yep.
and microcurrent. So really great. We're going to do that tonight. And in the events, you'll be able to see the link where you can join in the Zoom.
Yeah.
Then on Wednesday night, we have Gail Peterson coming on. Gail
Oh, I
Peterson.
love Gail.
Yeah, she's got some really juicy stuff
From
to
the
talk about.
Dakotas, eh?
The South Dakota, North Dakota, I forget which Dakota. So it's going to be great to hear her accent. But the part that I love is she's been a nurse for 45 years.
She is a rock star, man. We hung
Yeah.
out at the ACNA conference in the end of 2019. She is just so much fun. God, I love her. I'm really looking forward to Wednesday night.
Oh, good. Good, good,
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
And then at the end of the week, we have our Frequency Friday where you all can come in and,
Yeah.
truly just embrace high vibes. You'll be able to
High
feel it.
vibes, baby.
We did do a demonstration on the Healy, and we do a little
Yep.
meditation. We actually bring in frequency music, these
Yeah.
different frequencies. So, yep, more energetic
Let's not
healing for
remember.
everyone.
Let's not remember. Let's not remember, Sherry. Let's not remember. Let's not forget to remember that we have an event coming up on June 12th, noon to 4:20, down on the
We do.
farm.
We do.
Seriously, a really awesome farm, and you need to come down and hang with the green nurses. We're gonna do some breath work. We're gonna do some yoga. It's a BYOC, hang out. You know,
It's going to be
yeah,
very similar. It's going to be very similar, a compact 4-hour version of kind of what we did this weekend, but really talking about cannabis, cannabinoid therapeutics,
yep,
breath work, meditation,
cannabis education.
dancing, farm life,
Yeah.
experiencing the peace and the beauty of the farm life right on the ocean,
Oh my
right?
god.
And so
I
it's going to
swam
be,
last night. I
did
jumped right
you?
in. It was high tide. I went in, and my pal Finnegan, the dog, would not take his paws off of off of terra firma. He would not swim with me, but that's okay.
Oh, that's
I
so
had a
cute.
great
He'll
moment. It's
learn.
a beautiful evening, and yeah, you gotta come down.
You got to come
Immerse
down.
yourself
Yeah.
in the energy down here in Osprey Point Farm.
Yep. And then
So,
one last thing too is
yeah,
we have sponsorship and raffles. So there's a lot
yep,
of companies that are donating products for us to
yep,
sample and try and educate
yeah,
on and give away. So yeah,
uh-huh,
really, really excited. I want to give a big shout out to Denise Costello. So Denise has created this little goddess retreat area up in Ossipee Lake in Freedom, New Hampshire.
yeah,
So
that's a
we were
beautiful
able,
area. I ran
yeah,
away
so
to there when I was 16 years old, my
you
girlfriend.
did.
Yeah.
You ran away with your
And
girlfriend?
2 other people, yeah. Yeah, we went to Freedom, New Hampshire, yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
so
so
there's a lot
great.
of freedom in freedom, yeah.
There's a lot of freedom and freedom. So yeah, so big shout out to Denise for really, bringing us in and helping us to self nurture. And it just gave us a lot of cool ideas for a lot of more events that we want to plan, both at the
Hell
farm
yeah.
and up in Maine. Yeah.
There you go.
Good stuff. Good
Alright,
stuff.
folks.
All
Have
right.
an AFA day, I know
Yeah,
I am.
me too.
It's
So
the only
thank you
one.
all for joining us. Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you.
for
We're
joining us.
grateful.
Yes. Yes, thanks for being here with us, and, we'll see you tonight and then again tomorrow. Sherry, what's it
Yeah.
all about?
Oh, it's all about living your best life, helping others do the same, and decreasing stigma around what it means to feel good. We
Yeah,
all deserve to feel good. So thank you for joining us.
absolutely. Bye, guys.